Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Erica, and today I'm doing something a bit different from what I've done before. Today is more of a sit down video where I just talk about experiences in my life. It's a story time video. Sorry if my dog is distracting you in the back. He's cute though, so it's fine. And today I'm going to specifically talk about a story related to my stutter. Obviously, I stutter. If you watched my videos before, you've probably noticed that. And if not, then I do. And this story is going to be about a high school teacher that kind of publicly shamed me in front of the class. And the point of this video is not to drag this person. That's why I'm not gonna name the person that did this, because that's not the point of the video. I'm just gonna talk about what happened and talk about how I see it years later. So, before I get into the actual part of the story, I'll give a bit of a background. I was born with a neuromuscular condition known as cerebral palsy, and basically I had brain damage as a baby, and it causes my muscles to be very tight, and part of that tightness is my stutter, and so I started speech therapy at a very young age, and I had it up until my senior year of high school. And basically I just always stuttered, even though I used techniques to try to minimize my stuttering. It's just something I'm always going to do no matter what, and that's okay. But in this story, I'm going to talk about a time where someone made me feel bad about my stutter, and kind of go into what happened and what I thought of it then and what I think of it now. So the story starts when I was in, I believe I was in 10th grade. So I was a sophomore in high school. I was about 15 or 16 at the time, and I had this teacher in English and journalism, and I had some bad dealings with her in my English class, but then in my journalism class it really escalated. So for a bit of background, from late elementary school on, I struggled with severe social anxiety related to my stutter, and so I would never willingly participate or volunteer in class. I would barely talk to anyone in school. I was very shy. So this teacher wanted to help me overcome this shyness, and so she would call on me in class, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with calling on people in class, but one day she called on me, and I went to speak, and I was having a lot of trouble getting my words out. I kept blocking and my mouth would be open like this as I would stutter. And so instead of just letting me get my words out, this teacher said, "Oh, forget it. I'm just going to call on someone else. You're taking too long to talk." Like, she actually said that in class, in front of all of my classmates. I just remember my face turned bright red, and I thought I was gonna just lose it right there. I thought I was gonna start crying, but I did not. I held back my tears. But that was a really embarrassing experience, and also it wasn't the last negative experience I had with this particular teacher, because then she also, I mean, if you don't know, disabled students have this thing called an IEP, which is an individualized education plan, and the point of that is to make sure that disabled students with any kind of disability get all of the services that they need in order to succeed in school. So I had an IEP, and for the IEP, I would have a yearly meeting where we would go over my accommodations and talk about what accommodations I would be needing the next year. So I would have one of my regular ed teachers present, and then one of my special ed, I hate that term, but one of my special ed teachers present, which would be either like my adaptive gym teacher or a speech therapist, an occupational therapist, or a physical therapist would be present at the meeting to give their input. But also I would have a regular ed teacher, so like a history teacher or an English teacher or math or whatever teacher was assigned to attend the meeting. So this teacher, my journalism and English teacher, was assigned to go to the meeting. And I remember, since I was older at that part, at that point, they let me have more say in the meetings, so I would get a chance to speak and talk about what I thought I needed more of, and if I needed less of something. So I like told them services I thought I needed for the next year, and I just remember this teacher sitting there and saying, "Wow," and like, okay, so first she didn't even like acknowledge me there. She said, "Wow, I've never heard her talk this much all year." Like she didn't even say, "I've never heard you talk this much all year." She said she, as if I wasn't even in the room, which I was. Obviously I was in the room because I was speaking in the room. But she said that, and I was like, oh my god. I mean, I didn't say this out loud at the time, but it's like, maybe you've never heard me speak up in class this much before because you publicly shamed me in front of all my classmates, and that really embarrassed me, and that's none of my business. Okay, And so, like, the point of this story, like I said before, is not to publicly shame her, not to drag her. It's not a hit piece. It's more of just telling my story and talking about my stutter, because I feel like stuttering is still very stigmatized of a topic, even in like disability justice spaces. So I really wanted to tell that story, but also more importantly, I want to give hope to younger people that stutter, or even older people that stutter, that are struggling with their self-esteem and don't want to speak up in public. Because, like, yeah, that teacher shamed me, and that was a terrible experience, and it's scarred me for life. But also, like, not to say I'm this great big person that's always giving public speeches, but look at me now. I'm literally putting videos out on YouTube for people to watch. And yeah, some people might like make fun of me, or they might just not want to watch it because my stutter might annoy them. But it's like, this is me, and I don't care what anybody thinks, because my stutter is largely out of my control. But what is in my control is what I choose to do, and I don't want to hide anymore. I don't want to be afraid anymore. In college, I really started to put myself out there. I was a senator in the student government for 1 year, and also then last year, which was my senior year of college, I interned at my school's Center for Community Service and Justice, and that was a big leadership role where I would have to talk to those students and give presentations and stuff like that. So the point of that story is, well, first of all, do not publicly shame people like that. If you are a teacher, if you are whatever job you have, probably at some point in your career, you are going to encounter somebody that stutters, and you don't publicly shame them. If they're taking a long time to speak and it's annoying you, just relax and be patient and let them get their words out, and don't shame them. And also, if you do stutter and you feel ashamed of yourself, I know what that's like, and I know how hard it can be. It's even hard for me now. But you can grow. You can be confident in yourself. It's going to take time, and it's not going to be easy. But you can really grow as a person and learn to accept yourself for how you speak instead of despite it. Because I hate that whole, oh, look at me succeeding despite my disability. I don't do anything despite my disability. I do things with my disability. I do things because of my disability. My disability has made me who I am today, and it has affected my choices and my relationships, and just every aspect of my life is shaped by my disability. So, and if you would like me to do a series on Stuttering, where I share some more stories about my stutter, then please like his video so that I know it's a video that people would like to see more of, because I have plenty more of these types of stories, unfortunately. And also I wanted to give a shout out to a fellow disabled YouTuber, Rachel Gross. She's a really cool YouTuber, and currently she is applying to be a part of the Sephora squad, where like beauty influencers can apply to be part of Sephora's program. So I'm going to put the link down below so that you can vote for her and help her become a Sephora partner, because I really believe we need more disability representation in every genre, whether that's beauty, fashion, or crime, whether it's entertainment or workout videos. We need more disability representation everywhere. So that is why I would really like to help Rachel out, and I would really like it if you would go and help her out, because at the end of the day, that is my goal, is to put out more disability representation. Thank you so much for watching. Consider subscribing if you would like to see more videos like this, or even if you just want to come here for the workout content, you could go ahead and subscribe for that. And I plan to be back next week, hopefully with another workout video. I'm planning some videos in my head, so thank you for being patient, and thank you so much for watching, and have a great day. Bye.